He did tell investors that, and he would be extremely grateful, he asked investors, if they would step in and help fill this hole. It's an $8 billion hole in FTX's balance sheet.
The puffy-haired Bankman-Fried saw his net worth plunge to $990 million from $16 billion on Tuesday, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index.
Today's video will be different. We'll try to make sense of the FTX exchange collapse and the ripple effect that rattled the whole crypto market. Even stablecoins, which are considered to be non-volatile, were not spared. We'll be listening to Jim Bianco, Crystal Kim, of Axios Crypto, and flashback to Kevin O'Leary's prediction of crypto establishments crashing and the need for regulation. Don't miss out on hot updates as events unfold. Subscribe to the channel now, so we help you make sense out of the confusion.
Because of the money he was spreading around Washington to try and personally write the crypto regulation bill, or as it was described, the FTX business model was going to be written into law. And that's why I think there was this anger, and he used the CoinDesk revelations about the shenanigans between Alameda and FTX as a venue to say, I'm going to sell my coins. I don't trust you with the regulation. I wanted to embarrass you. That's my thinking. Not I want to bury you in 36 hours. And that's what eventually what happened. I think what he didn't realize, what we all didn't realize, is how much trust SBF squandered in the last several months, especially with this bill. And that at the first sign of trouble, everybody ran for the hills because he doesn't have trust. I'm a TradFi guy. I could go back to, I was around on Wall Street when Drexel went under in 1989, all the way through. And I could tell you what brokerage firms work on is trust. We put together things like capital rules and segregated assets and haircuts for risky things. But all that's to say, you have to trust me personally to run this firm. And when that trust is gone, all the financials in the world don't matter. Everybody wants to get away from you because their money is at risk. And what SBF didn't realize is that he wasn't trusted. So at the first sign of trouble, everybody ran from him. And you know, this is Dick Fuld at Lehman Brothers. This is John Corzine at FF Global in 2011. We've seen this movie over and over again. And when they start to run and the outflows start, the bank run starts, it's very, very hard to stop it. There's only one way to stop it. You need a larger entity that has more trust to come in and take over. In the TradFi world, that is a central bank with a printing press, or a government with taxing authorities and armies to come in and basically say, now we're in charge, everybody calm down.
Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF, who's CEO of the failing FTX exchange, who was estimated to be worth about $15 billion just some days back, and now lost his billionaire status, surely had a lot of money to push for favorable crypto regulations. SBF also appeared before Congress, proposing what he called a light touch regulation for digital assets. Jim Bianco points out that while SBF certainly had the money, he lacked the reputation for other players in the industry or the institutional financial sector to take him serious. While he was busy with Congress, he was also covering up the crisis that was brewing in his own exchange. Sam Bankman has been contacting investors to help provide funding for the exchange to help solve the company's liquidity problem. This is very revealing because it shows that the exchange's balance sheet was not in order. The question is, why should the exchange be insolvent? What was the exchange doing with the digital assets entrusted to its custody? SBM has said that the exchange needs $8 billion to settle users and save the exchange. He's asking for funding from investors in exchange for equities with FTX. Unfortunately for him and the users of the exchange, no investor is warming up to him. All this is coming against the backdrop of the company experiencing difficulty managing its users, who had been complaining about delays in getting withdrawals from the exchange. FTX had to respond to the overwhelming complaints through its Twitter handle to calm its users down and assure them that the situation was under control. In a tweet released on the 7th of November, FTX put the blame on technical issues, and also blamed banks for not working over the weekends. Let's listen to Crystal Kim, who's a cryptocurrency reporter for Axios Crypto, give us an in-depth view of what's happening.
The thing that people need to understand about crypto, right, is there are effectively 4 tokens that sort of work. There's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there are stable coins, and there are these exchange tokens like FTT. And the problem was when there was a leaked balance sheet of Alameda, which is associated with FTX.com, and a question of, well, there was no problem that Alameda Research was holding a huge supply of FTT tokens on their balance sheet. There became a concern when there was a suggestion of what they were doing with those tokens. And so when CZ, the CEO of Binance, just sort of put chum in the water saying, hey, this looks dicey and we're going to sell our remaining FTT tokens, that effectively started a panic. In 72 hours, $6 billion flew out of that platform. And to put that in context, the biggest bank run in U.S. history was WAMU. Do you remember Washington Mutual in 2008? And that was a $16.7 billion outflow in 9 days. So you can see the magnitude of what this was, which is just really bad. You know, the blood moon was just almost like a coincidental, like a perfect imagery of what was going on yesterday.
Bitcoin reached new lows last seen back in 2020, as the coin went down to the rejoin of $15,000 briefly before jerking up slightly to the region of $16,000, all within the hours on the 9th of November. Bitcoin did not go down alone. The leading cryptocurrency had followed the lead of the FTX token, with the ticker FTT had plunged down from a total market cap of $2.97 billion to the region of $560 million. Over $2 billion was lost in under 24 hours. This comes at the back of Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao revealing that Binance could not proceed with the bailing FTX exchange out. It should be noted that FTX is the third largest crypto exchange in the world. Instead, the Binance CEO revealed that Binance would be selling all their FTT tokens, which are tokens of the FTX exchange. This move shows that finance has no trust in FTX. Binance had also revealed that there were a lot of issues with the record books of FTX, and that the exchange was under federal investigation. To close this chapter, let's have a recap of when Kevin O'Leary revealed that there was a need for regulations to prevent collapses such as that of Luna.
I think the better way to look at this, I think, is the Luna crash, the other companies that were lenders that went bankrupt. In a way, you should look at that optimistically, because what's happening here in this last 9 months is we're scraping the patina and we're removing the idiot management teams out of the market. All these bankrupt ideas will not come back because they were tested and they didn't work. And that's an important way to build a nascent industry. So it's the litigators will litigate over the assets and the lawyers will sue everybody, and that's okay, because now the remaining players are being strengthened by the fact they're still in business. They're able to raise capital to the extent they're doing that, and the idiots are gone. What's wrong with that? And I think we start now, even though we're in a crypto winter, at a much better place. And I think the fact that they even woke regulators up, you know, when you lose $60 billion, mind you, it was decentralized, so a lot of it was outside of the US, that's maybe good.
That's a good thing.
And look, you got to feel sorry for the pioneers that got the arrows in the back, but they were idiots, so that's okay too.
Kevin, who's a major investor in Solana, which is another Sam Bankman startup, had not envisaged that the projects he was backing were also under bad management when he made these statements last month. He had criticized the investors of Luna. Now the buck has come to his feet. Watch out for more revelations and updates, so subscribe now and give this video a thumbs up.